What is your purpose? Do you have one? Do you know your purpose? Do you think that we're meant to have a purpose? Today, this is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to be talking about my personal experiences. And if you want to see if any of these messages resonate, please listen along. So I used to think that my purpose was to be an actor. I have particular gifts, and if you haven't watched my video on gifts, I think this would be another good video to watch following this one up. So be sure to add that to your queue. But when I think about my gifts as a strong communicator and a performer, acting, singing, dancing, it all. I used to think, my purpose is to be an actor. You know what I mean? My purpose is to be a performer and to tell stories. And so I spent my life, following that purpose. And although it allowed me to be fulfilled for quite some period in time, you know what I mean? It got to a point, after the pandemic where my finding an outlet to perform became very, very difficult. And then I became sad and maybe even depressed. You know what I mean? That might have been probably the most depressing time in my entire life, if I'm being completely honest, because I was disconnected from what I thought was my purpose, right? But I've listened to so many spiritual thought leaders and have gotten to a point where I think that I'm not sure if there is a purpose to life, right? Some people say that the purpose of life is just to exist, is just to be here, right? Which I do think, there's a certain amount of freedom involved in that way of thinking. But I also think and imagine, that we are all given specific gifts of creativity or athleticism, or again, communication or joy or so on and so right? Whether you be good at math or language, or figuring out puzzles or doing research or, nurturing people, creating a house and a home. The list of gifts that everybody is gifted with goes on and on and on. And I think that sometimes our purpose, because we live so many days, that sometimes our purpose is just to use our gifts. You know what I mean? Just to use our gifts today and to be in service of others today. Right? It doesn't have to be something big or magnificent like ending world hunger or becoming a very successful lawyer or doctor or a great community organizer. But if you're good with your hands, maybe your gifts are just stitching. You know what I mean? And fixing today's buttons or sewing this pair of pants, and helping other people who may need their pants sewed. I think that the list of our purpose can go so on and so forth, right? Some of us, we are supposed to be great communicators and visionaries and researchers. And other times, some of us are just supposed to find joy and enact with the vibration of joy, right? I think the thing about finding our purpose is that it can change and ebb and flow, right? As our lives do. I don't think it's one fixed thing. As nothing is, honestly, the only consistent thing about our life is change. So if change is consistent, then so must our purposes be. And you might have a purpose that's only supposed to be your purpose for a couple of hours, or a week, or for a month, or for a season of your life, or a decade. Right? I do believe that there's a certain amount of ebb and flow in how we were supposed to shift and change and not only respond to the stimuli and the things that happen around us, but to our own heart's desires. And I think the easiest thing to do to find your flow is to, again, understanding what your gifts are and maybe even what brings you joy. And I think some things you can do to identify or to be in flow with your purpose is to figure out your gifts. What gives you joy, or what feels like, that perfect flows in state where you just zone in on this thing and nothing else in the world matters and everything kind of falls away from your tunnel vision, right? Can you identify that thing? Do you not know what that thing is? Something tells me if you follow your joy, if you follow the things that feel good, you'll be able to find your things that feel great. You know what I mean? You'll be able to find your answer. And I think that the other thing is, not just identifying the things that feel good, because I think hedonism and chasing things that just feel good can be a bit of a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Feeling good is different than something is truly being good, right? I think I can make another video on that. But what feels good, what is actually good, and what, in what ways can you use your gifts or your purpose or this activity that you're doing to be good to other people and to work from a place of service. I believe that we all were given God-given gifts, and our gifts and our purpose, is to use those gifts to either live in a vibration that is going to be in service to others or to just share those gifts with the world. Because my gift of communication, you might not have that gift. So I'm sent here by God and the divine to communicate certain ideas to you that you may need. You know, you just might be a really good community organizer, or a person who gives really good feedback. Yeah, or a person who's a part of a community and shares ideas. You know, you may not be the person who creates the ideas, but you may be really good at sharing them with other people through text messages and comments and emails and other formats, right? But yeah, but what do you feel? What do you think our purpose is? Do you think that we have a purpose? I'm not sure if we have a purpose, but to me, I would say that it's to use our gifts in service of others. That's what I think the purpose is, and using our gifts can be used in a myriad of ways. Again, if you want to hear more information about your gifts and the different ways that they can be used, I have another video that you can check out. But thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you and your time. Leave me a comment if any of this resonated, or if you have any thoughts that I haven't necessarily tapped into yet, and subscribe for more channels like these. Yeah, my name is Mo, and until next time, I'll talk to y'all later. Ah.